Hello, Comely Missy is my name, but you can call me Missy. This is Coconut Head's Guide. In case you were wondering, a coconut head is someone who has refused to blend in. They decide for themselves what works and set their own pace, and also decide the course of action that will set their lives in motion. This often makes them come across within shared spaces as inaccessible, unapproachable, difficult, stubborn, hard, emotionless, uncaring set of people. But we all forget that to get to the soft, juicy, chewy, meaty part of a coconut, we need to first remove all the layers of hardness that it's protected with. So this Coconut Heads guide is geared towards encouraging how to navigate shared spaces with other people. Welcome, dear Coconut Head. I am a coconut head just as you. On today's episode, I am sharing the Coconut Head's Guide to Having Conversations. If you're not following me yet on Twitter and Instagram at ComelyMissy and at The Comely Place, then I'll just give you a second to quickly do that and then we'll dive right in. Thanks for staying with me. Very, very quickly, I would like to demystify what conversations are. A lot of people think that conversation or having a conversation is when one person is talking and one person is listening. However, there are nuances to be covered when talking about having conversations. Conversations are a two-way street. If you wanted to talk to yourself, you could as well just talk to a wall. Or if you wanted to talk to someone without having feedback or without checking to see if all the things that you have said was quite understood by the other party, you might as well just write down a sheet of paper and not share it with anyone. So the very first thing you need to know as a coconut head in having conversations or when you're having conversations is number one, understand that ideas are universal. There is no one idea that is tailor-made just for you. As much as you think that you're having an idea, maybe in your house, in your room, on your bed, in the bathroom, other people are having the same idea in different formats in different parts of the world. So have that understanding that ideas are universal. You do not run the monopoly of ideas. You are not the only one who can have ideas. With that said, we move on very quickly to number two. Number two guide to having conversations for the coconut head is expect and allow for pushback. What do I mean? Pushback is when you say something or you make a claim or you state a fact and somebody else challenges it. Or somebody else says, oh no, I beg to differ. Or, oh no, let's look at this critically. Or can we weigh the options? Or can we have a conversation about this? Don't make blanket statements. Don't make statements that you think once I say it, everybody has to accept it. No, everybody does not, or nobody has to accept your idea. Nobody has to accept your fact. Nobody has to accept your statement. Always allow for pushback, always expect pushback. In fact, pushback leads us to point number three, which is validation. Pushbacks allows you to evaluate what you have said and find validation. When you allow people to push back on your ideas, you validate them. You validate their presence. You validate the reason for that conversation. And then when they push back and they ask questions, and then you have to answer those questions, as a form of retort, then you validate yourself. So when you validate others, you validate yourself, you validate your idea. It's a chain that should never be broken. When you accept pushback, you validate others, and then by validating others, you validate yourself. By validating yourself, you validate your ideas. Let's move on to number four. Embrace difference. In fact, the only reason why you're having a conversation in the first place is because there are so many ideas, there are difference of opinions. If you do not know how to embrace difference, then you might as well just sit down and talk to yourself alone. Accept the fact that other people differ in perspective. Accept the fact that 6 may look like 9 to you and 9 may look like 6 to another person. Understand the fact that there are other perspectives. There's nothing that is written in black and white. There are 1,010,000,000 colors in between black and white. So you need to understand how to embrace difference rather, and navigate it. We're moving on to number five. Number five on the C HG, that's the Coconut Heads Guide to Having Conversations, is talk to people, not talk at people. Don't do the thing where you just talk over people and you don't care if they hear you out. You don't care if they understand what you're saying. You're just talking for the sake of talking. Talk to people. Measure body language, measure response, measure how they accept the idea. That's how you know you are actually communicating. Because what's the point of having a conversation if you're not communicating? Number 6, be informed. Can you kindly do your research before you come out and spew half-baked facts? Don't do generalizations. Don't generalize with figures. Have your facts. Be well informed. And even in your information, don't forget that other people might have a superior argument or might have a superior information than what you have. Number 7, don't forget to be civil. Understand that other opinions exist, and there are opinions that can exist side by side without one negating the other. There are usually no polar opposites with conversations. There are only perspectives and experiences. So be civil enough to accept that other opinions exist. Now, if you have it in the back of your head or back of your mind that other opinions exist, it helps you not to talk down at people or insult people when they give feedback on what you have said or when they push back on what you have said. And finally, to cap it up, nobody is out to get you. It's a conversation. Nobody is out to get you. If you feel like your idea is not being accepted, go back, refurbish it. Ask yourself, if you're very certain about the idea, you've validated it, you understand that, okay, there are difference of opinions and all of that, and still it looks like nobody's accepting it. It's not the end of the world. It might just be that you need to go back and reevaluate the idea and rebrand the idea. Well, let me give a very quick recap before I wrap it up on today's episode of the Coconut Heads Guide to Having Conversations. Number 1, understand that no idea is universal. Number 2, expect and allow for pushback. Number 3, make sure that you validate others. And by validating others, you validate yourself. By validating yourself, you validate your ideas. And then number 4, talk to people, not talk at people. Don't do that. There's nothing that is set in stone. There's nothing that is black and white. There's a wide gap between black and white that has different spectrum of colors. Then number 5, I think, be informed. Please make sure you are informed. Please make sure you are informed. Talk to people, not talk at people. And number 7, be very civil. Understand that other opinions exist and you will be able to navigate conversations without necessarily looking like a hard, difficult, inaccessible person. Go out there and be the best coconut you can ever be. Till next week, take care of yourself. I remain Comely Missy. Bye-bye.